Mm. Had to take a break on this one. So I saw Star Wars last night. I could have never prepared myself for what occurred. I went in with fairly low expectations. I had my expectations somewhere like along the lines of Justice League. I knew it was going to be messy. I knew it was going to have problems, but I thought it would still be enjoyable to watch. Thought it would still be fun to watch. But even with those lowered expectations, it was still bad. It was still so bad. It was just, but I'm not angry. Happened last night, and I'm still. It's like being a disappointed parent. Like you're not angry. I'm not mad. I'm just disappointed. I'm just really, really disappointed. Like 9 movies, counting like spinoffs and stuff, like 30 years. And that's literally the best you can come up with. That's God, there was so much wrong. Let me get the one positive out of the way. At least. Let me at least do that. Kylo Ren. Kylo Ren owned that movie. Adam Driver carried that movie on his shoulders. He was the best part of the movie, strongest character in the movie. Every time he was on the screen, it turned into a good movie. But everything, literally everything else, so bad. I don't understand how it could be so bad. It's like they just didn't care anymore. Like they just wanted the movie to end. The directors, like everybody, just like fuck it. Let's just end it so we can get it over with. Like they had no idea what they were doing, where they were going, what story they were trying to tell. They were just done, and it was evident. Every part of the movie. It was just like, let's talk about Rey. We can't talk about this trilogy without talking about Rey. And they tried to explain why she's so good for no reason. They really did, but they just couldn't. It didn't work. I'm gonna go on to spoilers. By the way, I'm gonna give you a couple seconds. If you don't want to hear spoilers, go ahead and click off, because I can't explain this movie without going into a little bit. I'm so upset right now. Still upset 24 hours later. All right. There's okay. Rey's Palpatine's daughter. And they try to say that's why she was so good at everything so quickly without any training. I was like, but that didn't work. That wasn't enough. I was like, that was lazy. I was just trying to find a way to explain it, and it didn't work. And the fact is that she wasn't that good. Like, she couldn't even finish the obstacle course, little Jedi training thing. She couldn't finish that. Yet she was good enough to single-handedly take down Emperor Palpatine. But she wasn't good enough to beat the basic training, And the worst part, she was getting beat almost the entire movie. Every time she came up against Kylo, she was on a losing end. The one time she won is when Kylo was distracted by Leia, dropped his lightsaber, turned his back, and she stabbed him while he wasn't looking. I even said, I'm not one to talk during movies, and he was like, you punk bitch. I was like, you punk bitch. What kind of Jedi does that? What kind of Jedi are you? And then, like, he had this big, comeback thing where he's back to being Ben Solo, and like it was like J.J. Abrams had an idea. Well, he's gonna come back and help her beat Palpatine, and somebody, with that rhymes with entity, came in and was like, no, Rey has to do it by herself. Has to be Rey. Like, but it doesn't make sense. He's the focal point of the movie. I don't care. Has to be Rey. So they found they pushed him out of the battlefield for a second, long enough for Rey to kill Palpatine by herself. Somehow. But then, they act like he was dead, and then he came back at the end, he climbed out of the pit or whatever, and Rey died in the process of killing Palpatine. I was like, okay, that's a good. I mean, that's not bad. Okay, I was like, okay, like everybody dies. Okay. Then Kylo comes up. I was like, oh, so Kylo, so Kylo's the only survivor. Okay, I was like, all right. And Kylo owned the movie anyway. Whatever. And then it's like they couldn't let Kylo have it. There's that eyebrow again. There's that eyebrow I'm talking about. Kylo pretty much sacrificed himself to save Rey. And before Rey can return the favor, obviously, Kylo just fades, surrenders to the Force or whatever. I'm like, so it had to be Rey. So even in dying, Rey's still the only one standing. Like, that's hard to ignore. I'm not trying to be one of those people who's like, oh, they're trying to shove it down our throats, but come on. Like, they even had her die and come back to life, and Kylo still died, and he didn't even fight. He wasn't even in the fight, but he still died. Why? There's so many moments like that. Like, how? Why? I couldn't tell you how many times I was sitting there like, why? How does that happen? What? I just had to sit there like this. I was just sitting there in the movie like, you're trying to wrap my head around it. Like, let it go. Just enjoy the movie. Just let it go. Even before that, me and my wife and kids, like, we were sitting there outside the theater before we went in, watching people that already seen it walk out of the theater, and everybody had the same look on their face, just like, this how they're walking out. Like, ready to go. That's it. There was nobody smiling, nobody happy. It was just horrible. And I was like, oh man, this ain't gonna be good. This ain't gonna be good. And that lowered my expectations even more. I was like, just enjoy the movie for what it is. It's a popcorn flick. Just enjoy the movie. And I couldn't do it. I tried so hard to just enjoy it, but there was so much wrong. Not even from a lore standpoint, just from a logic standpoint. Like, what? How did... We saw the Death Star blow up, right? I understand there might be a few little pieces here and there floating around, but the entire throne room is perfectly intact. How? How, Sway? How? Oh. I'm just so disappointed. I couldn't... How could it be lower than my lowest expectations? It was just... I'm so upset right now. Not even like angry upset. I'm just like, man. And my son. My son's like super fan. He's more than me and my brother, I think. And he's like, fuck Star Wars. Yes, he said. I was like, damn. They broke this man. They almost broke me. If it wasn't for Mandalorian, I'd be in the same boat. Fuck Star Wars. They ruined it. 30 years of storytelling, and they managed to ruin it all in one film. I really just feel upset. Like, I just really feel like, what's really going on right now? Wow. I didn't expect it to fail that bad. I didn't expect it to be that off, you know. The Rotten Tomato score, like the viewers say, is an 86. I'm like, how? That number hasn't changed. I don't know. I'm putting my tinfoil hat on. That number hasn't changed since it debuted last week. You know, like 20,000 reviews and the number hasn't changed a bit. There's some funny business going on. There's no way that's an 86. I don't know what fans are seeing that movie. I think they froze that number because they want that shit to be low, just like the critic score. But whatever, I don't know. Whatever. Oh! Fuck this. I'm done.